Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing very well today and you're ready to start your day with myself, Maha Mukhtoub, on your PTV World. Well, this morning we have a wonderful show lined up for you, and as you know, people have already started to go on their holidays for Eid. If you are traveling, please be safe and also do enjoy yourselves. But don't forget the people that are less fortunate or less privileged than yourselves, and make sure that we do kind of keep in touch with our humanitarian side, which we have excelled, especially in the month of Ramadan. We've broken all records, so that's absolutely fantastic. We have a very, very interesting show for you, and the first segment is something that affects everyone, and it's very important that we have this conversation as well. But before I tell you what it is, we are going to look at the top stories of what's happening around the world and within Pakistan, and then we will get started. The opening ceremony and welcoming banquet for the first Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) Film Festival was held in China on 13th June 2018. Paleontologists at Mexico's acclaimed desert museum have discovered the remains of a new species of dinosaur that inhabited the coast of northwest Coahuila State 85 million years ago, making it the oldest dinosaur to have inhabited the region. That's amazing. And the new Jurassic World film is also coming out, so kind of perfectly in line with that. And moving on to sports, Pakistan thrashed Scotland by 84 runs in the second and final T20 International and complete the whitewash in two-match series in Edinburgh. Congratulations to the team. Well done. It was great playing. PTV Sports also was covering the match live, and if you ever want to catch any sports, do tune into PTV World. Across the PTV channels, we cover everything within Pakistan, so it's pretty useful. But now moving on, as you know, within Pakistan, we can be quite relaxed. And this is not I'm not having a go at anyone, and I am as guilty. And I know my friends, if they're watching, they will be laughing at this. But, we're not so great at time management or valuing time. Over here, one deadline is given, and then we procrastinate until half an hour later, maybe an hour later. We're all guilty of having majority actually, not everyone, we're guilty of having turned up to dinners an hour late or maybe an hour and a half late. Or, that 20 minutes gap that we're leaving between where we're expected and the deadline. Now, this is actually something which, within Pakistan, I've noticed we're a lot more relaxed with it. When you go abroad, people are pretty punctual. And I've been guilty of doing this on multiple continents. So I'm not saying that I'm innocent in all of this. But we're going to be looking at a verse from the Quran, Surah Al-Asr. It's about time management. It tells you about the principles. It tells you about how to overcome procrastination. And it also tells you about all this peer pressure we feel to say yes. And I feel over here within Pakistan, what I've noticed with myself is that if you say, no, I'm tired, or no, I don't really feel like it, or oh, I'm busy, or whatever, people put a lot of pressure on you to say yes, and they don't take no for an answer. Another thing is that they expect you to make all the effort to go to them. So there has to be some kind of reciprocation with the kind of agreements on the meetings or the, or the time deadlines that are set. So to discuss all of this, we've been joined by Dr. Kawal Kaisar, and she is a pediatrician by profession, but she has been a Quran teacher for over 20 years, teaching kids character building through the Quran and Sunnah. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
And you have been this is what I've noticed, even last year when we had Dr. Yusuf as well, you guys pick up on things that are so, relevant, and actually we are struggling with it day to day, and we have that confusion. And time management is something that we are very not too keen on within Pakistan. So what is happening? Tell us.
It is said that world over, people waste at least 2 hours of their life. And we can identify those.
A day?
A day.
Okay.
So you can add it up and you would come to know how much of the time people are actually wasting. And for that, the main things that you can identify with is how they're trying to catch up with things, the clutter that is there on their table. They are missing out on their appointments. They're not able to delegate work within the home boundary as well as if they're working somewhere. So these are all the things which put such immense pressure on people that they are on the edge many of the times, and this is because they lack these principles. And this surah, Surah Al-Asr, it is so beautiful. One of the important things that I really find very fascinating about this surah is that when the companions of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they used to meet and then they would part, they would recite this surah. Like a message to each other about good time management principles.
Excellent.
And what are these principles? They are so unique to whatever we find as such by the people who are experts in time management. They're blending in, but this surah takes it at a very high level. Something that is beyond the scope of very superficial kind of a time management principle or the checklist that we get. So if you look at this surah, the surah says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Wal Asr, Innal Insana Lafi Khusr, Illa Allazina Amanu wa Amilu Salihat, wa Tawasaw bil Haqq, wa Tawasaw bis Sabr. The surah starts by taking oath of a time, which is Wal Asr, Asr time. We all know that we have 5 daily prayers, and the third prayer, which is around 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. is the time when we have when we have this salah, which we call Asr Salah. And this is the time when major chunk of your day has been passed out, and now you're rushing to get done with your chores. Some people immediately sometimes give up. They're like, I'm not able to do anything, so let me just relax and I'll think about whatever I have to do the next day. And then there are other people who are so stressed out that they're taking it out on people around them.
Yes.
So that's the time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us this message, calm down, slow down, take one step at a moment, and you still have time. And even if you have wasted a lot of time in your life and you've reached a spot where you say, I wish, I can go back and fix all the things. You don't have to, you can't go back. So start fixing now. This is the message, start. The moment you realize you have been wasting time, start immediately. Then, innal insana lafi khusr. Man is going to be indeed in loss. Why? Because if you're not managing your time properly, there is a loss for akhirah, there is loss for this world. There is loss in relationship, there is loss in work. I mean, you can pick up any pointer, and if somebody is hopeless in time management, will not be able to make it into anything. People, no matter how talented you are, but you're not managing your time well, you have lost the game. Then the verse tells us, the next verse tells us, what is the significance or what are the pointers for this time management. Illa allazina amanu wa amilu salihat. Men are, or people are in loss except the ones who have 2 characteristics within themselves. One is faith, your iman, and second is the quality to do amal saleh, which is the righteous deed. Now, one thing is that I'm trying to take care of my time management. I attended a session. My boss is there, and I know, oh, my boss is there. So I am trying to look busy, do nothing, maybe. Similarly, this happens
Yes,
at home.
Yes, lots of
It happens at home as well. That the moment we see parents, you are wasting your time, you're watching a movie on your laptop or screen, or you're on the social media, and suddenly you realize your parents are glaring at you and they're trying to remind you of your grades and what are your responsibilities at home and towards your studies. And immediately you act out very responsible in your task. This part of the surah, the first principle tells us we have to be responsible everywhere, whether someone is watching me or not. I just do it for Allah's sake. I just do it because I'm investing in my life, in the worldly life, and I'm making it big investment for my akhirah. This is so amazing because the moment you think like that, you're transformed. It takes you out of those shackles and the barriers that are related to just the pressure of people. You're doing it for Allah. As simple as that, wherever you are in the world, because I have seen so many people who are in Pakistan, they're hopeless with their time management, and they get the chance to go abroad and live in societies where they are more particular about spending their time, and they transform. And then they come back on vacations or back to their home ground, And they're again the same procrastinators or people who are doing wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like, what I think is like when we're out and about in in professional environments, we're very, we behave, we dress
Exactly.
well, we're very smart. As soon as we go home, we relax, and
We
we're like,
relax.
I'm not going to do anything. So I feel
Or
like
plus, or
maybe
even on the weekend, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
But the
but
thing
we're
is,
treating the whole country like this,
exactly.
I guess.
So what we need to do is that this iman, this faith tells us you have to be particular about your time. It's between you and your God. Second important is righteous deeds. Sometimes, as I said, look busy, do nothing, or you're investing your time into something, but it's a time waster. But it's something which is affecting your health, if you're becoming a yes man, taking the peer pressure, as you said in the beginning, or it is affecting other people around you. So amal-e-saleh means doing the righteous deeds. Look into the life of the Prophet ﷺ, how he spent his time, how he managed his time with the most productive manner. Now, once you acquire or work on these two traits for yourself, we come to the second part of the verse, which is وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, that you motivate yourself and others around you in two areas. Now you start putting, rather than taking the wrong pressure from the environment, from the people, you start putting this pressure around your environment. Like, we are going to be focused on truth, and we are going to have patience. I am going to be patient, and I'm going to help you have patience. And I give you a very simple example of this truth. Time management. You get a wedding card invitation. It says 8 p.m. You land sharp 8 p.m. Even the host is not over there. And they come around 10 p.m. And when you look at them, that, excuse me, I have been here since 8 p.m. And they're like, why did you come 8 p.m.? You don't
No one
even know
comes at
that,
8
it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Why don't, I mean, you should have come at least 2 hours late. This is like a scenario which is created, and that is what we understand, that if I'm particular about my time, but other people around me are not good with managing their time, then my time will also get zero. So what I have to do is teach people around me the right principles. One way or the other, engage her in similar kind of activities so that they also value that time. And yes, when you're trying to be a good time manager, you have to do sabr a lot of time. You have to be very patient with these things. So overall, what we find out is these principles, when you start applying on your life, they help you get over time wasters. I have a couple of tips for like time wasters, because I think this is a big problem for everyone these days. You have to see if I am engaged in time waster as compared to something important that is there on my table. It is pending for a lot of time, and I need to be giving it its regard. Then what you need to do is pull in that something interesting, something that you find that you can be engaged in, and replace it in where there is a time waster. For if you want to get over the peer pressure because of this time management, and you don't want to be a yes man, many a times I've come across people who say, I can't refuse. I mean, I have to study at this time. I have my office work. I have my some chores to take care of at home. But so many people are asking me, please, please, please do this or don't do this. What am I supposed to do at that moment? I always tell them, work on your personality. There are 3 types of personalities. Work on yourself to be an assertive person. Learn to say no in a good manner. You're not going to throw rocks on towards people like, I'm so sorry, you are not concerned about your time. So just pushing off people. Don't do that. Don't have that kind of an attitude. Be nice and polite, but say no. Okay. I'm so sorry. This is something I can't do at this moment. And then procrastinators. This is like a big issue, because many times people say that
I'm
really
a very
want
big
to.
procrastinator. I'm going to admit it. I am.
And for that, what you need to do is just move yourself into a paradigm of planning. All you have to do is plan ahead of time.
Exactly.
If you plan everything ahead of time, and your weeks are planned, your months are planned, you get up in the morning and you have the whole thing planned, and then you have small baby steps that you're trying to achieve. That's when you get over these procrastination.
Wonderful. And I'm so glad you said that, because that was one of the things I actually had issues with. I used to procrastinate, and then my mother told me, make a list of everything, write it down, and then you put that pressure on yourself to make sure you do it. But another thing is that I recently, I think about a year or two ago, you understand the beauty of the 3-year plan, the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan. And actually it does take a lot of time to put into it. You have to think very realistically and logically. But I do advise that to all of our viewers, that if you can, these things do actually help, because, you know, I've set certain like deadlines and targets that I need to meet, and I've changed my plans around a little bit because, you know, because things don't always go according to time or, you know, to plan. And there's a saying that if you want God to laugh, make a plan. So, you know, it's not that you're becoming so rigid, but
Plus,
it does
Maha,
help.
yes, it does. And plus, Maha, we are living in the time of technology. We have smartphones with us. And in these, we have so many calendars and so many ways, so many tips, so many reminders. We need to use all those things.
Okay.
We can't simply rely on our memory. That's an important principle.
And especially as we get older, like I know my memory started to suffer a lot. But now we've done this, I feel like we're going to bring this to an end. And what I would like you to do is do a recap now of what we've done over the last month. You know, if you could just sum it up for all of our viewers. And then, yeah.
I feel that if we just focus on this surah from another dimension, it sums up everything that we have covered in this month. We have talked about faith, working on our faith, which is so important. Till you have worked on your faith, you will not be able to give the rights of people, because many people are confused in this area. Then we have also talked about the righteous deeds. We have talked about the parents, the people, the needy, the society, how we can be positive contributors to the society in so many ways. And yes, in that we keep integrating our ibadah, our salah, our all the qualities like the patience and anger management and emotional highs and lows, you know, managing all that. And then yes, the dealing, be truthful, taking a stand in right places, having confidence about our religion. As you always have been saying, that we shouldn't be scared of picking up Quran, our holy book, going through it. Especially I would recommend it with a teacher, some teacher who could explain all those things to you and also teach you how you can integrate it into daily life. And one important message that I would say, we are living in the times of trials and tribulations. Many a times I see that people, what they do is they look up at the commandment from Quran and they feel that this needs to be changed. What my experience has told me and what I have studied so far from Quran is, don't change the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't change what has been done or said by the Prophet. Try to see how you can apply it in different situations. And the moment we learn all those things, that's what we have. And that is why, as I said at the beginning, that the companions, when they used to part from each other after meeting, they would recite this verse. So it sums up everything that is there in Quran.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
It was, I'm humbled by this experience to be with PTV World Morning Show. Your company I used to look forward to, and the whole staff. I think it's been an amazing experience for me, and I'm really thankful to the whole management, everyone on the team.
No, thank you for taking the time out, especially during Ramadan, because it has not been easy. It has been very hot, and then we've been talking about very important topics. And you know, I'm so glad you summed it up in that way. And this is what we have been trying to say, that this is what Islam is about. Everything else that you're reading, you know. Just recently someone was talking, you know, there's been stuff on Twitter, you know, there's a lot of Islamophobia out there, and people say it's a barbaric religion, it's this, it's that. Actually, it's not. Only very ignorant people say that. And for all those people that say that the Quran is a, you know, it's limited in the time that it was sent down. No, it's not, because every word, like majority of words, have between 14 to 20 different meanings. It's about applying it to each generation, you know, kind of using our intelligence and our knowledge to make sure that we are progressing with it. Because if you look at the history of Islam as well, there's so many amazing golden periods of what Islam has brought out.
Plus, if somebody can be on Twitter, on Snapchat, or Instagram, and on the social media, they can make an effort to actually open Quran.
Exactly.
And actually be with someone to study and understand all the meanings and its application.
Exactly. So, this is one thing another thing we've been pushing on the show, don't be judgmental without knowing the facts or without doing your research. So with that, I'd like to thank you one more time for taking the time out. I hope you have a wonderful Eid. And what we're going to do now, we're going to go for a short break. And when you come back, we're going to be talking about people who are saving lives. Stay tuned.
Allahu Jalla Jalaluhu, Allahu Jalla Jalaluhu. تجھے ڈھونڈتا تھا میں چار سو، تجھے ڈھونڈتا تھا میں چار سو، اللہ جل جلالہ، اللہ جل جلالہ. تو ملا قریب رگے گلو، تو ملا قریب رگے گلو، اللہ جل جلالہ، اللہ جل جلالہ. تیری جستجو میں ہے فاختہ کہ کہاں تو جلوہ دکھائے گا. تیری جستجو میں ہے فاختہ کہ کہاں تو جلوہ دکھائے گا، کہ کہاں تو جلوہ دکھائے گا. اس ورد کو ہے کو بکو، اس ورد کو ہے کو بکو، اللہ جل جلالہ، اللہ جل جلالہ. گرے قطرے ابر سے خاک پر تو یہ بولا سبزہ اٹھا کے سر. گرے قطرے ابر سے خاک پر تو یہ بولا سبزہ اٹھا کے سر، تو یہ بولا سبزہ اٹھا کے سر. دیا غیب سے مجھے آب جو، دیا غیب سے مجھے آب جو، اللہ جل جلالہ.
Welcome back, everybody. And before the break, we were wrapping up with Dr. Kaval Kaisar, who was so kind to take out the month of Ramadan and be with us every morning so that she could share with us the wisdom and the beauty of the Quran. And you know, it's those things that kind of remind us that, you know, we really need to know what we are reading. You know, when you read the Arabic, please do try to read the translation, and if you can, with a teacher. But do your research when you're looking for the teachers as well. But now we're moving on to a very important day. Today is World Blood Donor Day, and the theme, we have been having a bit of a dispute with with our panel, but the thing is, it's about giving blood and making sure that we are looking after our community. Within Pakistan, there's a lot of myths, there's a lot of apprehension to donate blood, but we're going to get all those myths busted. We're going to find out what the situation is, and we've been very lucky. We've been joined by an incredible person who has been donating so much that probably, you know, hundreds of lives have been saved with that amount of blood. So we're going to talk about why he does it, what is his reasoning behind it, and what is the thing that motivates him as well. Because it's all about helping our society and community, because we do see a lot of social media posts where, you know, everyone is desperate for blood. Someone's been injured or someone has fallen sick. So why are we still needing those Facebook page, you know, those Facebook requests? So what we've our doctor who's in the studio with us, she is going to tell us all of this. So we've been joined by Dr. Wasifa Muttasim. She is the Assistant Director of the Blood Donor Center at Pakistan Red Crescent Society. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
No, thank you. Besides Dr. Wasifa, we've been joined by Romulus Miranda. He works at the United Nations and is in the transport system of it. And he has been donating blood for many years, and he has at least donated 122 times with the Pakistan Red Crescent Society, and he has donated elsewhere, and we're going to find out everything. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So Dr. Wasifa, we're going to start with you. Tell us a bit about the theme and what this year it's all about.
Today is World Blood Donor Day 2018, and the theme for this year is be there for someone else, give blood and share life. This is an international theme, and it is celebrated all over the world today on 14 June.
Excellent. So now, Red Crescent Society, what are you guys doing in regards to this day?
Yes, Pakistan Red Crescent Society is the biggest humanitarian organization of Pakistan, and it is working on different parameters. We have different departments, and Regional Blood Donor Center, it is one of them.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so that's very precise and prompt. So now let's move on to Romulus. Romulus, tell us, you've been donating so much, and I was hoping you would tell us about Romulus as well, but tell us why you donate so much blood.
Actually, the thing is, when you donate blood, especially when I talk about myself, I get inner satisfaction, I get internal peace. I don't know what it is, I don't know how to talk about it, but it satisfies me. If I don't donate blood when it is due, it's something like I feel something is missing in my life. I have missed some important work to do in life, and that clicks my mind that it's time to donate blood. I don't remember dates.
Okay.
I'm not good at dates.
Okay.
But when this feeling I get, then I know it's time to donate.
Okay, so tell me, when did you start donating blood?
It was when I was 18.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it started then.
And just because you just felt this urge, you're like, okay, I'm going to go and just donate blood today. Or did someone tell you about it? How did you find out that you can do this?
No, actually, I had a friend when I was in college.
Right.
He was my best friend. And what happened once that he came to me in the morning at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and he told me that my mother needs blood. She's got blood cancer.
Oh, gosh.
So I didn't know what is donating blood. I had never seen someone giving, never heard. So I just told my parents, and they said, okay, go. So I went with him. But that time, I'm talking about, say, 37 years before. There was no screening of blood. No one knew. Only what I knew was that there is something called grouping. If the group doesn't match, you can't give blood. So my group didn't match with his mother's group, and his mother died.
Oh, gosh.
So from that time, I said, this is not right, because he was a very close friend. Like, we used to visit each other's house every day. His parents coming to my house, my parents going. But in the end, then I realized that if this is so important and It is life-saving, so why don't keep it for life?
Okay, amazing. And that's a very sad story, but it, outcome is so great that you have been donating regularly. So now, Dr. Vasifat, within Pakistan, we have a lot of apprehension about donating blood. What is the situation now, especially with your society as well? How is the screening done? Are there proper processes? Are people being checked for diseases? Tell us about it.
Actually, there are different 5 parameters which are very important for screening technology, and those are the diseases which can be transmitted from one person to another. And they are hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV/AIDS, malaria, and syphilis. We are doing a screening against these 5 major parameters. They are called TTIs.
Okay.
And there is a proper registration criteria for the donor selection, that the age of the person should be more than 50 years, the weight of the person should be more than 50 kgs.
Right.
And the age is more than 17 years. And in Pakistan scenario, we say till the age of 60 years. But you can see as he is donating, so the age restriction is not 17 onwards we can donate blood.
And I guess the reason I feel, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, within Pakistan we have such a young age limit cutoff is because our mortality rate has also decreased. So
exactly.
our mortality rate has gone to 50 now. So people are not living healthy lives. So I understand why they would do that. So now all of these different screenings for
these are
do we
different.
have the actual means and methods in place that people are being screened?
Yes, only especially in the rural areas, these screening technologies are not implemented. They have a very...
So they're not implemented in the rural areas?
No, not.
Okay.
Therefore, the rate of hepatitis B incidence is increasing day by day. And people are donating blood and the blood is not yet screened because of sterilization.
So now, if you are a patient that requires blood, how can we make sure that the blood that we're receiving or our family member is receiving has been screened and tested?
Actually, they should visit the proper tertiary headquarters, and at THQs and at good private setups, they have a good system.
Okay.
And so they can get their blood screened, and there is a proper setup, like everyone should get hemoglobin checked. And for males, it is a different criteria, and for females, it should be like more than 12.5 grams.
Right,
and then the person is eligible to donate blood.
Absolutely. So now the thing is, with these practices happening and the fact that, if you are not well off, if you are not placed in a privileged section of society within Pakistan, then you're going to face a lot of hurdles. As citizens, as people part of this community, it is our responsibility to make sure that we highlight these malpractices.
Yes,
basically.
exactly.
And the thing is, what I've realized is that though, when you do raise your voice, you face so many obstacles and hurdles, so I don't know how they would overcome this. So what are Red Crescent Society doing to correct the situation?
I must say, PRCS is encouraged because PRCS is the only organization of Pakistan which is working for voluntary blood donations.
Okay.
Otherwise, all over Pakistan, here the system is very weak and fragmented.
Okay.
And the people are working on the replacement systems. Like if the patient needs blood and they have to donate, they have to bring any donor to the hospital. And other than the screening charges, they have to bring their own donor. But here in PRCS, we are just giving blood without any replacement system, and we are collecting 100% absolutely on voluntary blood donors.
Oh, yeah, and it's all clean. It's
all clean, yes. And we have the highest voluntary blood donor pool, which is the safest.
Okay, wonderful. So, for all those people out there, when you do, the thing, okay, so now when we see these emergency, actually, first let me move on to Romulus, because I feel I should bring into the conversation. When you have been donating blood regularly, have you passed on this giving element to your children as well, or to the people around you, your friends and family? Do you encourage them to donate blood?
Very interesting question. The thing is that I have tried my best, but you won't believe I haven't succeeded in motivating even one person.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm shocked. I mean, I feel motivated by talking to you about it. Why? What are people's why are they not doing it?
Leave alone the illiterate, even the educated people, they are not interested, because in my office where I work, someone, relatives, they need blood, they come to me, and so I say, you are young, why don't you donate? So they say, I have never donated. So you donate, so why don't you are aware what?
What? I'm
So-
sorry. No, and I know a lot of people we've done multiple shows as well, with different organizations and the one that you work for. I am shocked, and I am, especially within. I mean, I am shocked. I don't know what to say right now. Yes,
This
go
is
on.
the biggest dilemma of Pakistan. We have
I've
lack of
never done it, so you
yes,
do it.
this is the lack of awareness, lack of motivation. They are the biggest challenges. People don't know about the voluntary blood donor system.
No, but they
this
should.
system exists? Yes, there should be a system. We are encouraging. We have a separate program which is called SAPS, Society for Awareness of Blood Safety, and we are working for it. And the students under the age of 17 years, we are targeting different urban and rural setups
Fantastic.
and teaching them that what is blood donation, what is anemia, what is blood, so that when these students promote to the college level, so at the back of mind they must have some idea for the blood donors.
Exactly, and there isn't anything wrong with it. I mean, you're literally just going to go, they're going to put something in
Yes.
you, and you're going to get it screened. Or
There
you're
is a
just gonna take
phobia. There is a phobia.
Oh, that's sad. But now I'm glad you mentioned the fact that you're targeting the universities and students.
Universities.
Because even abroad, that's how they do the blood drives.
Yes.
Now, I want to come back to Romulus because I feel like there's
Yeah, sure.
a lot more we can unearth here. When they've said, I've never done it before, you do it, what is your reaction? How do you deal with that?
Well, I try to explain to them that if you know that I've donated so many times and there's nothing wrong with it, and I'm not sick. In fact, I feel more energetic, more healthy. And why don't you try once? I also tried once. They say, no, actually I have heart problem.
Okay, so excuses.
I have blood pressure. Or, but I don't want to.
Basically, that's what it comes down to.
So,
They don't
yeah,
want to do it.
but-
It's too much effort. Yes.
But I must say, those people who are diabetics, those people who are hypertensive, there is no contraindication for them to donate blood. It's not a contraindication, but the person
What
who
do you
is
mean? No, sorry. What do you mean by contraindication?
that they are not able or eligible to donate blood.
So they're
There
not?
they are not. They can donate blood.
Oh, they can. Okay.
Yes, they
Right.
can. Otherwise, hepatitis B, if the person is known to have B, hepatitis C or AIDS, they should not blood donate for the lifelong.
Okay, absolutely.
But the diabetes, hypertension, which are very common emerging diseases nowadays, this is not like they should donate blood.
Okay.
It does not harm them.
Okay, exactly. So this is our request from PTV World is that, we do see these statuses on Facebook, as I mentioned in my introduction for this segment, but it's our responsibility. We can't keep passing the buck to the people who are already doing the work. I think this is a problem that we have here is that one person does it, so we just put everything onto them. And that's too much pressure, and that's not right. So what would you like to say to everyone that's watching? What is the message you want to get across today, Romulus?
Well, I can say that since I've been doing this, it's about 37 years that I've been donating blood. And to tell you the truth, I feel healthier. And the only thing which I would say is that if you want inner satisfaction, if you want inner happiness, you just try once. And you'll see the difference.
Okay, and also we just mentioned that you have donated 122 times at least with the Red Crescent Society, but you've also donated to other places as well, correct?
Yes, I have.
And you're absolutely fine. Where were the other places that you've donated to? So people have an idea if they want to
Well,
donate.
I can say my basic education was in Lahore. So in Lahore,
Yes.
I've donated in CMH, in Pindi also CMH, private hospitals,
Okay,
Benazir Bhutto Hospital,
excellent.
and some private clinics.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. And from PTV World, we want to thank you as well. That's this is a perfect example of people giving back to their community and society without actually getting anything in return. So that's wonderful. That's selflessness there. And Dr. Wasifa, what would you like to say finally to all our viewers as well who are watching?
I must say, because you are not donating just one bottle of blood, because when you donate blood, one bottle, we are making components of it. We are separating red cells, plasma and platelets. So you are saving 3 lives at a time. It's not a life scenario for the one patient only against the one bottle. You are saving 3 patients. So you can well imagine how much.
Exactly. Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I
Thank you
really
so
hope
much.
that your message gets across to everyone. So it is World Blood Donor Day. And, it's about giving back to the community and society without actually asking for anything in return. But what you do get in return are potentially saving multiple lives. And, this is what we've been talking about all month. So if you would like any information, be it on our first segment or our second segment, you know what to do. You need to log onto our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of World This Morning. Our Twitter page is World This Morning without a G. Our Daily Motion is World This Morning, and so is the YouTube. And the repeat is at 11:05 p.m. this evening. Have a wonderful day, and we have some wonderful shows also tomorrow, and then Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday. So do keep tuning into PT World. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.